The birth of the sun, the heart and origin of everything. Before our sun blazed to life, there was only darkness and silence. About 4.7 billion years ago, the space that would become our solar system was just a vast cold cloud of gas and dust drifting through the Milky Way. These particles were the ashes of ancient stars, generations of giants that had exploded long ago, scattering the elements of their deaths into the void. Everything we are, everything we know, began in that debris. Then something disturbed the balance. Perhaps a nearby supernova, the violent death of another star, sent shockwaves through the cloud, compressing the gas within. Slowly, gravity began to take over. Tiny clumps of matter attracted more and more material until the entire region started to collapse inward. The cloud flattened into a spinning disk, with most of its mass concentrating in the center. That center, that growing knot of heat and pressure, would one day become the sun. At first, it was just a protostar, a dense sphere buried within the dust. Its gravity was immense, pulling in more gas, feeding on the surrounding nebula. As material fell inward, the temperature climbed to millions of degrees. In the heart of this chaos, hydrogen atoms began to fuse into helium. In that instant, the nuclear engine of the sun roared to life, releasing a flood of light and radiation. For the first time, the darkness of our cosmic neighborhood was shattered by the birth of a star. The sun's early years were far from peaceful. It was a violent, unstable infant, spinning faster than it does today and releasing waves of radiation powerful enough to strip atmospheres from nearby worlds. Solar flares erupted like colossal explosions, and magnetic storms raged across its surface. Its fierce solar winds swept through the surrounding disk, blowing lighter gases away from the inner regions and sculpting the early architecture of the solar system. But this chaos also brought order. The sun's gravity bound everything around it, dust, rock and ice, into a delicate cosmic dance. Within the swirling disk, tiny grains began to collide and stick together, forming larger and larger bodies. Some grew into the planets we know today. Mercury, Venus, Earth and Mars, forged from rock and metal, survivors of the sun's fiery influence. Further out, where the solar winds were weaker, gas and ice giants formed: Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus and Neptune. Over millions of years, the sun stabilized. The fusion in its core reached equilibrium, creating a perfect balance between the inward pull of gravity and the outward push of radiation. It entered what scientists call the main sequence, a phase of steady, long-lasting brilliance. And it has remained there ever since, burning calmly for 4.6 billion years, providing the warmth and light that make life on Earth possible. Every second, the sun converts about 600 million tons of hydrogen into helium. A small fraction of that mass, about 4 million tons per second, is lost as pure energy, radiating outward as sunlight. That energy travels across 150 million kilometers of space before reaching Earth, sustaining every heartbeat, every ocean current, every leaf that turns toward the light. The sun is not just a star. It is the heartbeat of existence itself. Yet, even the mightiest stars have limits. In roughly 5 billion years, the sun's hydrogen fuel will begin to run low. As fusion slows, gravity will gain the upper hand, compressing the core and heating it further. The outer layers will expand outward, transforming our sun into a red giant hundreds of times its current size. When that happens, Mercury and Venus will be consumed entirely, and Earth, if it still exists, will be scorched beyond recognition. After its final flare of life, the sun will shed its outer layers, casting them into space like a cosmic shroud. What remains will be a dense, white-hot core, a white dwarf, glowing faintly with the memory of the light it once gave. Around it, a nebula of gas and dust will spread outward, seeding the galaxy with new material. From that material, new stars will form, new worlds will rise, and perhaps somewhere in that endless cycle, new life will look up and wonder where it came from. The story of the sun is not a story of beginning or end. It is a story of transformation, of energy becoming matter and matter returning to energy. It is the heartbeat of creation, echoing across billions of years. Every atom in your body, every breath you take, was once part of a star that died so the sun could be born. And someday the dust of the sun will give rise to others. That is the rhythm of the universe: birth, death, rebirth, an eternal dance of fire and light.